Hi everyone, I am Farlace with the Farlace LaShone Financial Group. Today I wanted to share with you how I pick stocks part 2. This is a continuation of the part 1 video, and I'm actually going to share with you things that happen in day-to-day life, in the media, in the news, that you can actually use to capitalize on and build your investment portfolio and increase your trading profits. Disclaimer: with investing, there is risk, a potential for wins and losses of income. A diversified portfolio is the best strategy to minimize risk. Only invest what you can afford to risk. I cannot and will not make risk recommendations as to what stocks to invest in. I will only provide you with the tools and knowledge so that you can make educated and informed financial decisions when you choose to invest and build your financial future. I do not make claims to guarantee success nor wealth. Results will vary from individual to individual. This is a recap of how I choose stocks. I actually went over all of these steps in my first video, the part 1. So I'm not going to actually go into the details of each one. So if you want the actual details and breakdown for each one, just go and watch the first video. But this is just a recap. Step 1, the best time to catch a stock or cryptocurrency breakout is in its earliest stages or lowest price point. If you missed the initial IPO, which is the initial public offering, look for opportunities to buy when the stock pulls back in price. The price is lower. Step 2, what is the company's approach towards long-term growth? Step 3, what immediate problem does the company solve in society? Step 4, is the stock what I call a market mover? Step 5, media, industry, hype, and news. Step 6, what's trending? Step 7, where do you spend your money time most? Step 8, diversify, diversify, diversify. A diversified portfolio helps mitigate risk. But today, we will solely focus on step 5, which is media, industry, hype, and news. I will also briefly go over the diversified portfolio to actually give you some insight as to what that looks like in real time. But a tip: listen for news that may negatively or positively affect a company's financial present, or future. If it's negative news, you will want to, of course, short or sell the stock. If it's positive news, you will want to long or buy the stock. How to profit from daily occurrences. Boeing, company that makes airplanes, can have a great day and the entire market will shift 1 to 3%. Yay! But recently, Boeing had a bad day. Boeing recently grounded all of their 777 aircrafts due to the engine failure of the United flight that took off from Denver. So I knew immediately to look into shorting or selling Boeing stocks in the Forex market. If you hold Boeing shares, you could look at one of 2 ways. Number 1, sell your shares with anticipation of the stock dropping, or number 2, wait for the stock to do what I call bottom out, also often referred to as pullback or drop. Then you can go long or buy more shares at the new discounted or lower price. Either of these methods work and would be feasible for both the stock and Forex market. This is an actual picture of the engine that caught on fire in mid-flight. They had to, of course, take necessary emergency measures. I'm so glad I wasn't on that flight, but very happy that everyone was safe. So, how to profit from daily occurrences, part 2. Elon Musk, who owns Tesla and is the richest person on the planet, he updated his Twitter pic to Bitcoin. Believe it or not, just this simple measure from this uber rich guy, it made the stock go up to like $5,000, $8,000 in like a matter of minutes. So a week later, he purchased 1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin in February. After this announcement, it shot up in price to as high as $58,000 per share from $45,000. He made $1 billion in profits in 1 month from this acquisition, which is more than he actually made the entire year from selling his Tesla cars. Can you imagine that? You deposited 1.5 billion and you made it back. Actually, he made it back less than a month, let's be honest. So, but he made almost 100% of his investment back in less than a few weeks. The sector that this news affects is the auto industry, of course, electric cars. So how do we use this info? How do we utilize this info? When you hear someone of this caliber, Elon Musk, make this type of announcement, you immediately know to buy Bitcoin with anticipation of the currency going up. Forex crypto platform, you can either look into one of those Forex to trade it, crypto platform to purchase it. Tip, you need to listen to this. Cryptocurrency is extremely volatile, meaning the price can fluctuate greatly in a matter of minutes or even seconds, from 100 to even 5,000 or 10,000. Only trade if you can handle this volatility. 5,000 in your account is a pretty reasonable amount if you're only trading something like Netflix. The price isn't that volatile, so you wouldn't expect to blow your entire account in one trading session. But with Bitcoin, you can go from $100 to $5,000 and lose that in amount of minutes or seconds. So don't trade this currency if you can't afford to take the loss. Part 3, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. GameStop. Stock prices skyrocketed due to the investment of retail investors, normal people, what I call the little wigs. So the social media group called Wall Street Bets went long, purchased stocks, causing the price to soar. This caused the institutional investors, these are the hedge fund guys, or what I call the big wigs, to lose tons of money. Think billions of dollars, not even kidding. Basically, the little wigs did to the big wigs what the big wigs were about to do to the little wigs. Good, right? No harm, no foul. All in a day's work or trading. Wrong. The big wigs couldn't take this loss just this once, what they dish out weekly to the little wigs. So they raised capital and sent the stock back down, way down, from almost $400 to about around $68 or so. This is what they call a short squeeze. The little wigs saw what was happening, went in to sell their stocks before they experienced grave loss. Only the trading platforms halted all trading to protect investors. Robinhood, Reddit, even Stash, and some others, you think they protect their investors, right? Only they didn't. They appeared to protect the ones that were trying to hurt their very own investors. Basically, they protected the sharks, the big wigs. And this is why they are in the middle of a hearing with our Senate government officials testifying. Robinhood has even admitted wrongdoing. What sector is this? This is called the bullshit sector. No kidding, because it was straight bullshit. You're supposed to protect your investors. How do we utilize this info? You don't. You heard me correctly. You don't trade this at all unless you have an unlimited amount of capital available. Because while I love volatility, this isn't that. This was forced one-sided greed. The big wigs used to always say when they were winning, oh, hey, you win some, you lose some. It's just the nature of the game. That was until they started losing. Interesting, huh? That's why you sit back like me in this instance, eat your popcorn and just watch. You have to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to call it bullshit and walk away. Okay? How to profit from daily occurrences, part 4. When newly appointed Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen announced that Bitcoin is ineffective. You're right. This caused the price to tank due to the scared investors. The smart investors knew better. So this is Janet Yellen. She was appointed by President Biden as the new Treasury Secretary. She announced Bitcoin's ineffective. I thought this picture was funny because the guy's behind her as she's making this claim. They have a sign up that says buy Bitcoin. Too funny. True, buy Bitcoin. So how do you, she's in the sector is the political arena. So that's what sector this involves, this news. How do we utilize this info? Yellen is a powerful political player. So when this announcement came down, it negatively affected this asset. Remember, negative news, you short the market or hit sell. If you miss the descent downwards, research the stock or entity because you may be able to catch it on the way back up. Tip again, I have to re-stress this because it's so important. Cryptocurrency is extremely volatile, meaning that price can fluctuate greatly in a matter of minutes or even seconds from 100 to even 5,000 or 10,000. Only trade if you can handle this volatility. What does it look like to capitalize on daily news? So we'll take the previous example with Treasury Secretary Yellen. On February 22nd, Treasury Secretary Yellen announces Bitcoin is ineffective. I immediately go into the Forex market to see where the price action is. It was a very low drop, currently trading at around $48,000 to $49,000. I noticed I missed the initial drop from 58,000, but no worries. I know from prior research that the market always bounces back. You have to do prior research. You just can't make a decision to jump in any trade or to buy any stocks without research first and proper research to support your decision. So I enter several trades at the lowest price points as the market continues to drop. There wasn't an immediate rise in price, so I was patient. And I waited for the market to do what I knew my research said it would do. I profited almost at $4,000 that day. So let's take a look at how that looks. Bitcoin dropped from 58,000. When I checked the market, it was already down to around 49,000. So I entered these buy trades because I wanted to catch the price back up. My research showed me that the market was going to correct itself and head back up. So I entered buy trades at $49,983, $49,767, and so forth and so on. My lot size ranged from 0.1 to 0.10. However, when you enter a buy trade, you're expecting the market to go up. However, it continued to go down. So that put my balance in a negative in all these areas. But I had the capital available so I can afford to take these negative hits because I knew even though it was going down, it was going to what I call bottom out and change and go back in my favor. So I could take these negative hits. However, if your account, you determine you can't take any lower than $50 loss per day. Once this hits around 45, 50, you need to close this off. It should never get to 84, never ever get to 186 because you're blowing your account. And you should never take a higher risk than you've assessed that you can allocate to take. So I knew the market was going to turn around because I did prior research and I was patient, and it did. So this buy trade that I entered for $49,983 actually turned around. I went from a negative to a positive profit of $240. This buy trade that I entered for $49,767, that actually turned into a $45.30 profit. This one that I entered for $48,750 turned into a $145. This one turned into over $1,300, and this one, where I went from 34, actually turned into over a $2,200 profit. So I actually profited almost $4,000 that day. So it was raining Bitcoins for me. So this is how you take negative news that happened, daily occurrence, and take that and turn it into positive cash flow. So I took a negative that I heard in the news, I knew to go check the market, and you turn it into positive cash flow. This is another thing that I want you to take a look at is why stock portfolio diversification is important. These are some assets that I have in my stock portfolio. I want to show you how that this can also help you make sure that you're always in a profit, even though when the market is down, you can make sure that your stock portfolio is up. So I have these different assets These are 10 listed here. And the total positive stocks I have, well, actually it's 14, but the total positive is 10, and I have a over 367% positive rating. The negative stocks are only 4, and their percentage is 23.76. So all of these 4 add up to 23. But notice I made that back just with one asset. All of my 4, it was offset by just one asset that was positive, that was more than what I was losing in my negative. Even my Google stock, Alphabet is Google for those that don't know, but when you're looking up Google stock is listed on the Alphabet. So remember that if you don't find Google stock, it's actually listed on the Alphabet. But anyway, so that actually offset my negative. So I'm way, way above in the negative. So your percentages may not always look like this though. It depends on where you come into the stock. For example, if I purchase the Tesla stock at 300 per share and it goes up to 700 per share. So I've more than doubled my investment. But if you purchase Tesla at 500 and it goes up to 700, you're more so maybe at 20%. So your investment may not be as big as my investment, depending on where you entered the stock or the trade. So with the Moderna stock, I'm up 70% this year. These are year-to-date percentages. You want to have a diversified portfolio. And what I mean by that, you want to have multiple sectors. Like for example, this is the auto industry sector. This is the health industry. Moderna is the vaccination people. Goodyear, Delta, that's the airline. That's the oil sector. Some ExxonMobil, that's oil. Netflix, entertainment. This Amazon, Walmart, that's retail. So of course, I have an ETF. So all of these are different sectors. So when the retail sector, which was Walmart and Amazon, they were in the negative, all of my other sectors were doing well. So they offset my negatives. You see what I'm saying? So you want to just make sure that your portfolio is always diversified so that you always come out in positive with profits. So thank you guys. Appreciate you attending the Farlace LaShone Financial Group Financial Presentation. I am Farlace, and as always, feel free to reach out to me if you guys have any questions. Have a great day.